Welcome to beautiful Elmer's, site of Tuesday's high school football challenge game between the county champion East Elgin Eagles. This is their home field, and one of either STA or CCH. Those two London juggernauts play for the London City High School final on Saturday at TD Waterhouse Stadium. Brent along with Norman James. Championship week on A News continues. We are on the eve of two huge games. Of course, the high school final and the 103rd Yates Cup from the nation's capital, Western versus Ottawa. The Stags out for their third Yates Cup title in the past 4 years. Brent, you will see that game in the flesh. Now, preparations for you for that game, packing a suitcase, making sure you have some equipment, making sure you're fed, fueling up the vehicle, maybe getting some tunes together. Preparations for the GGs and Mustangs, a lot more complex on the other hand, or are they?
Well, I think both teams pretty much know each other now. They've played each other once this season. They've gone over film for the past week now, now that they know they're playing each other. They may have even been preparing for this game before their semifinal games, thinking that they were the two favorites to win those games. It's going to be a great one. Last time it was a 1-point win by the GGs in the final minute. If it's anything like that game, the fans are in for a great 103rd Yates Cup.
Yeah, we hope it's going to be a fantastic game, but the mental preparations 24 hours before kickoff, are guys trying to psych themselves out? Are they pumping themselves up? Are they trying to relax a little bit? Are they going over perhaps game scenarios in their heads? Just tell us what you think these players are thinking about right now.
Well, I think Ottawa is sleeping nice in their own beds, thinking that they've got a nice preparation. Western, of course, is going to have 7 or 8 hours to think about it as they drive up to Ottawa. But I think both of these teams are really confident. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, Brad Sinopoli, you know, he's confident that he's the best player in the Ontario Football Conference. He's the Heck Crichton nominee. He knows that he has the ability to run and throw the football on Western's defense, which is possibly the best in the nation. Western, a lot of guys on that team have some swagger as well. They think that they're the best team. So, you know, I think it's a lot of confidence on both sides, and it's how it plays out on the field, I guess, that wins.
The Mustangs coaching staff must be drawing up plan after plan, scrapping them, and then redoing them, trying to figure out a way to stop Brad Sinopoli. I believe it's an impossible task. You don't stop him completely, you limit him. Do you think that's going to be the case tomorrow if Western is going to win?
Yeah, you rarely see a quarterback who can run and throw the football as effectively as him. So Western, I think, has to either take one or the other away, and it's almost impossible to take the passing game away in the Canadian Football League or in Canadian football rules because it's so many receivers in such a wide field. So basically what you can do is put a spy on him at linebacker, and Western has 4 great ones, and just stop him from running the football. And if you could stop him from running the football, then it's up to the rest of the guys to cover.
Western appears to me to be too talented overall to allow one player to beat them. From the Mustangs' perspective, offensively, they have a pretty dynamic quarterback in Donnie Marshall and a lot of options either on the floor or guys who can pull it down in the air. Jeremy Hipperson, Nathan Riva, and our athlete of the week, Andrew Thibodeau. Do you look at this as if it's Western outscoring Ottawa in an absolute behemoth of a game, or do you think we'll be surprised and see the numbers lower when the final whistle blows?
Well, last time I was a little surprised that it was only 2019 when they played, but it was also week 2, and these teams were just getting ready. They were just coming off a game that they had only played about 4 days earlier. So I think this one will be a little bit more high scoring, but Western's defense is really solid. It's just a matter of whether Donnie Marshall plays the way he can play by running the football and spreading things out, or whether he has another 3-interception game like he had against Mac, and that would really hurt Western. Unfortunately for the Stangs, I think you got to go with the team who has the best player. You see it in the NFL, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. These teams with the best quarterback in the league win games. So unfortunately for Western on Ottawa's turf, I think it's going to be GGs and Sinopoli coming out ahead.
The fact Western lost to the GGs by 1 point in week 2 at Frank Clair Stadium, does that come into play at all, or do you think they'll wipe the slate clean and give this one all of their best and as you say, come up just short in the end?
Well, I think Western thinks they can win. They know they can win. If Hyralu would have kicked that 40-yard field goal, they would have been up by more than a touchdown, and that last-minute drive by Sinopoli never would have happened. So they know they can beat this team. It's just a matter of whether their defense plays the game of their lives, because I think they're going to need to do it on the road in the big stage.
What kind of statement does Donnie Marshall have to make? He's had a pretty solid season, his first season as the #1 quarterback at Western. Is this a situation where we're not expecting much more than what he's already given us, and maybe he surprises and at the end of the day wins himself the game MVP? If he does that, obviously Western is going to win.
I think his best asset is when he throws for about 200 and runs for another 100. If he can get 200 yards passing and another 100 rushing, that means the game is in his hands and he's played the best he can play pretty much. And if he does that, hey, the Mustangs may come out on top, but you know, he has to play that style of game to get this victory, I think.